And now for something completely different. So, set 31111 Cyberdrone, I think it's called. Lovely little set. I wanted a second copy of it just so I can have a couple of builds on the go at once, and I figured why not run through the base set for the base set as well, for the benefit of anyone who doesn't own this lovely little parts pack just yet. So, first things first, let's unceremoniously open it and go about the contents. Set the box aside. Second and third instruction books aside. First instruction book over here. This is I'm going to be building on camera, but with the instructions off camera, just for the sake of convenience. And let's just dump out the parts and I guess get building. Yeah, two unnumbered bags. And before going to the time lapse, I can at least show off the minifigure for this set. I don't know, I like how the 3-in-1 creator has been including more minifigures lately. Gives them more solid play value. So, as you can see, let's bring him in for his close-up. Get it to focus. He is heavily inspired by the robot from the old Explorians line, I believe. But with the classic space logo on the chest, just hang on, just for good measure, grabbing a better pointing device from what's available for me. Yeah, face printing, very much Explorians. Chest detail, classic space, but can fit in with pretty much anything. Back printing, optional alternate face, really? Some neat stuff going on here. That could potentially be used as a front for a custom minifig. No leg printing, but then again, you know, this is a good value set already. So, without further ado, let's wipe down for the time lapse, I suppose. And there we go. So then, first build. I like this thing, to say the least. I mean, there's an old PS1 game called G-Police, but this has sort of the same general vibe as the vehicles from that. Or at least one of the ones that you get to use over the course of the game. There's a few. It's a really good game. Anyway. So, let's talk about the build first things first. There's some really clever parts usage down here, where it uses, I've lost the thing I'll use with pointing, phone case to the rescue. Where it uses these boys down here, half of the mixel joint as greebling, and the other half over here in the cockpit as the controls. Which just looks really good. As far as action features go, these things swivel. All the control surfaces kind of rotate and swivel, so you can convincingly get it into a variety of flying poses. My personal preference is to tilt these back, tilt these forward, and ideally I display it kind of like this. Probably have to break build some kind of a stand for it, which I'm not going to do, seeing as the one that I have has been dismantled and rebuilt into, so far, all 3 official sets and 8 other builds. I've just started on another sort of build a day type thing. Not sure I'm going to document that one as well, or if I'm just going to save it for the YouTube, but, well, we'll see. So, that is build number 1, very sturdy, uses just about everything in the set. My only real criticism is that the engine jets are slightly too big for it to, like, convincingly land. And you kind of have to remove those in order to set it down in kind of landed pose, which, I could do without that, I guess. At the same time, it kind of works, if anything, better like this. Actually, let's see if... I guess the alternative would be to remove the 2 discs here. It can land a little bit flatter. just for the sake of still using all the parts, transfer these to up here. Nah, it doesn't really work as well. So, criticisms of this build, honestly, this is about as good a build as you're going to get at this price point, at this scale. One thing I really appreciate is the colour palette used. It borrows from an old creator line called, an old creator tech. It borrows from an older creator set called Titan XP that I owned as a kid and really liked. It's a good measure. Let's bring an image up on the screen right here. Send my hands a little more. There we go. So, honestly, if you're buying this for the first build alone, it's already worth it. However, this isn't just one build. There are, as you see, 3 sets of instructions here. Therefore, and there we have build number 2. I kind of folded it into what I consider to be a kind of unofficial landing configuration here. I don't know, I just like how it looks like this, with the fins kind of looking more like they're supporting its weight. However, I will point out that it does balance just fine. Without that, that is just how I displayed this one the first time I built it. So, as for the last one, you can take your minifigure and have him operate the controls. So, honestly, when I first bought this, I bought it mostly for the previous build. I wasn't as interested in the other two, but I figured I'd try them out anyway, and this one pleasantly surprised me. You know, like, admittedly, yeah, it doesn't have as much play value as the main build, but it makes good use of all the parts that it does use. You can see there's a few more sort of left over. Just move those off to one side for the moment. And honestly, what this does use, it makes really good use of. I really like the colour blocking on it, with like the orange kind of used sparingly for the most part, but then like a lot more of it up front. You know, how the blue tends to be around other blue. Well, probably didn't need to explain any of that. That's just how colour blocking. That's just what colour blocking is, anyway. So, my one criticism is that it is difficult to get these sort of side fins to an angle that I like, but at the same time, I appreciate that they are posable. You know, I mean, depending on your preference, you can consider them as what, anything from air intakes to weapons, to, well, again, landing struts. I'm just going to set this boy back down. So, that is build number 2. Like I said, pleasantly surprising. Honestly, if this was the main build, but you still got like whatever other parts, yeah, I'd say this is still very much worth it. You know, this puts what it does you. This puts a set to good use. It demonstrates a little of what's capable with it, and there is, of course, a third build. So let's just go ahead and do this again. And as you can see, we have the build here. However, I am going to just get a real quick time break, just because, well, I need to eat. This is overshot. This is overrun a little bit. Still, this isn't going to be a transition for you, but for me, it will now be tomorrow. So everyone geared up for day 2. Here we have build number 3. The weakest one. It's okay, there's a lot of things about it I do like. I mean, before you hit the waist, I do quite like the torso for this one. It has a good silhouette. The arms genuinely have some decent articulation. This one has over 90 degrees at the elbow. This one just short of, but it has the articulating claw hand. I mean, one of these builds is going to have to be the weakest, and given how strong and how fun the other two are, it may as well be spinny legs here. So, I guess my main issue with this is that there's a lot of parts left over that didn't necessarily need to be. I mean, you got a lot of open stuff here on the back that you can very easily just, sort out. And I guess the beauty of LEGO is that you can just do this yourself, basically, regardless of what the instructions include. Oops. Yep. And I'm genuinely surprised that they didn't just do this with the sort of laser drill arm, just on the grounds that it looks a lot better. Well, laser drill, torch, imagination. Anyway. Yeah, let's get those on there. Stick this on the back here. Again, I'm just sort of improvising here. I've not gone into this in any particular plan, just what if I added more things to this? What if I added some more things to this build? And speaking of building, this is going to be the first part of a series, unsurprisingly. I've done previously a week-long build a day for this set. I'll be showing off all the build, full instructions and everything over the course of the next, however long. I haven't yet decided how regularly I'm going to post those, but they're coming. Yeah, I guess... where's the other fin gone? Not a whole lot else to say, really. Now, at this point, I'm honestly just killing time while I finish attaching things to this. Get these on there. Let's fold these back, give some fins. You know what I mean? It uses more parts. It's about the same, but it has a slight added play feature of... It now has sort of drone friend that can zoom off. And so... with that, however, that is about all I can really say about this set. So, thank you for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and keep an eye out for more builds from this set, I guess. If you have anything built yourself, you like features on this channel with this set, then just socials in the description. Go ahead and ping me some breakdown images. I'll see what I can do. So, bye-bye.